Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to recreate the tap and drill gauge, which is a bench fitting task for the EAL qualification if you do a level 2. So for this CAD exercise, what we're going to do is recreate a 2D based drawing, and we're going to recreate this in a 3D model space so we can look and examine our drill and tap gauge. So like any sort of technical drawing, it's just basically breaking it down into its individual shapes. So if you basically start from a set point, so I'm going to start from this section up here, okay, is that you have a rectangle kind of base shape. You have a 10mm chamfer one side, 10mm chamfer up this side, and then at the end we have our 95 radius, which will then go through and add in. But what I'm going to do is just draw our basic shape in Fusion first. So bottom to top 75, and then left to right we've got 190, and we need to add in then the mass for this little radius base feature. So going into Fusion on the default view, you can then obviously start with a save and then save it into your workspace. It's always the preferred option for that, so you can then not use the recover feature rather than just leaving it as untitled. So first off, I'm going to choose the top view because I'm going to draw this from the top down. I'm just going to slightly orientate my datum, so I can either hold down the middle mouse or use the pan button here and move it around. Get a sketch, click on the top, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle that's going to be 190, so I'm going to tab across 190 by 75 and 75, like so. That does seem very big. So 75, 190. That's it. So make sure you got those dimensions. You can use the tab button on your keyboard to bounce between the two dimensions as well. So you're probably thinking, well, okay, but I haven't added in here this little section because that's where the construction line sits down on the edge. So what I'm going to do now is going to put dimensions 105 in. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to draw a line from the top, which is going to be 105 long, like so. I'm going to then draw another line, which is going to be 95, which will give me the end of that radius. And what I'm going to do is draw a line down and close it off. So I've kind of made two shapes. So I've got my inner rectangle, which is this side area, and then I've got this little extra rectangle there, and this will become useful later. So that's my overall shape. I'm going to finish my sketch either at the green tick or on the sketch palette here. Go to extrude. Okay, go back to my drawing. I've got material which is 5mm thick, so I'm going to choose the first box, and remembering I need to choose the end box, so I'm going to put 5 in and 5 for that one. And that should then go as one big body, so I've chosen both front and back, but if I go to my sketch, I've still got that divide option, which I'm going to use later. So that's kind of our stock material. Once it's cut to size, and if you imagine filing it all flat, would be what's left over. So we've got our nice little grid which runs down the center of our part, which is 50 off of the center, so 25 either side, and then that runs then basically all the way down till the end countersink. So it's kind of trying to now build a grid up, and how you do this is up to you. You could do it hole by hole, you could do feature by feature, but what I'm going to do is put a sketch grid on first. So what I'm going to do, start a new sketch, draw the top of my face, and what I'm going to do is sketch exactly what was on my drawing. So I'm going to use a line Move to line type, put construction. We might want to put a center line, so we can do a center line first. Pick the center up with the triangle, so anything with a triangle with an X, that's the center point. To the center, and then I'm going to go to construction. And what I'm going to do, rather than try and work out what's 25, I'm going to use this little tool here. So I'm going to use the offset tool, click on my center line, and I'm going to want to come 25. Like so. So okay, that's at 25 down. So that's going to be this bottom line here with all my clearance holes in. And I need to do the top line of my drill size before I do the tapping. So I'm going to do again offset, choose my line again. Remember, I'm still in the construction tool. Again, offset, either in the offset or down where it's highlighted blue, 25. This I'm going to flip it, or you could put minus 25. Like so, this is top tapping edge. Middle section is my my threaded. Bottom section is my clearance. Like so. So that's kind of all of the grids running horizontally across my page. Now I need to do the vertical drops. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to start from working the vertical line. So we're going to basically run off of this section here first, and then start to build the part along from left to right. So I'm going to start with the left edge, which is going to be this line here. Again, using the offset tool. So we're going to this one, we're going to come in 10, so flip it. Okay, now because I've chosen a rectangle, it'll pick up all of the rectangle lines. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to convert this one here. So right click, and I'm going to base this line to run it down the edge. So it's got my little construction line in now. Offset that one. And I'm going to come in minus 10 because I'm moving across the board. That's going to be my first one. Then after that one, we've got 50 from the same line, so don't get confused. So again, offset again, this initial line, minus 50 because I'm moving to the right. And then we're coming in 20 from that point onwards. So we're going to keep offsetting 20 every single time. Okay, so what we're going to do, rather than using the offset tool, I'm going to use the pattern tool, so rectangular pattern. Choosing my line, I need, so this is my first line, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. I'm going to put 6 lines in. They've got to be 20 mil distance, so 20 mil apart. I need to do spacing, direction is across a line, distance 20 mil, like so. And I need quantity of 6, like that. So take that one off. Now if I inspect, it says 20 mil, 20 mil, to there should be 20 mil. Yep, so overall I should have from this point, so that'll be 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, and 120. So I'm going to go from this point here. So this point to this point. 100, so I need to add one more in to get back to my feature. Go off a measure, back to the feature. So I should offset the last one, minus 20. And check again that it is there to there is 120, which it is. Get that one. So there's all my grid points, and the last point is on the 105 plus 90, so we want 90. So I'm going to draw a line. I should be able to pick that line up, which is there. So draw a line. And what I'm going to do is reference that 190 mil away from this corner edge, like so. And then I'm just going to change that again to a construction line, like so. So that's going to be my sketch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a placeholder pin, so point for all of these elements. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to point. I'm going to put a point every place where I need to put a hole. So it's going to be a bit of a clicking exercise. You can use the pattern feature like I did before. Just take your time, don't rush. And the last hole on that one. And basically I'm going to use this as my working sketch. I'm going to finish a sketch. You can see now I've got loads of little pin holes and points to play from. So next stage, people will start to draw circles and start to run through using these individual kind of pinpoints. However, it then kind of starts to get slightly kind of tedious by putting circles and using the extrude and cutting them through. So what I'm going to do is use a hole tool. I'm going to choose my top face, all the way around to the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my first hole, so choose a reference and choose my first point, which is up here. And I'm also going to choose my second point. I'm going to stick with the top, and then you might be able to do 1 and 2 because they're the same hole. So these are the two lots of countersink holes. They're 6 mil diameter. So we're going to come through. We're going to choose a countersink. We're going to come down and choose the depth, which is going to go through all, the distance through all. Change that one. Diameter. We're going to choose 6 mil. And then the outer countersink, again, doesn't actually give you a size. It just says 2 times 45. So we're going to put an extra 2 mil. So we're going to change it to 8 mil, like so. And then we're going to tick those ones off. So that's giving us our first 2 holes, and it's giving us a hole feature down here. Using the same approach again, selecting the face. Okay, because this is obviously used our reference grid, you might want to make sure that's visible. So you can come to sketches and turn the sketch on just here. You can also turn the sketch on for that other line if you need to be. Back in the hole feature, and I'm just going to work the taps. So first one I'm going to choose is the tapped hole in the middle. Distance through all. Tapped is this one here. Come down to my profile. I think it's an M3 to start off with. Yeah, M3. It's a 3 mil hole. You can obviously model it if you want, or you can leave it as blank, but I'm basically going to put that on M3. It's going to be a simple hole. I believe there's no countersink, no, it's just a straight hole, M3. So I'll work at my profile, all those bits. Okay, there's my M3 hole. Next hole on the next point, it's going to be a 4. So same again, tapped, simple tap, 4 mil. Okay, hole this time is 5 mil. 5, so 5 mil. Okay, on that one. Next one, it's going to be an M6. Okay, that one. This time, it's going to be an M8. And then 10 and 12. So 10. And the last one, 12. Okay, so that's kind of all my holes in. Next side, then we're going to do down the bottom run. So again, it's the same again. So pick up hole. This time I'm going to go to clearance. So on my clearance hole. So you've got a simple clearance or tapped clearance. Choose my fit. So this one's going to be a type of profile. So we're just going to say it's a bolt. You might not get all of them, so I have to go for a M3. I was using a normal fit, so that'll get the size for you. This one is an M4. So again, M4. This one's going to be an M5. This one is RM6. This one is R8. This one is R10. And I'll take the last one. This one is R12. So using the system to work it out. Now, if you go to inspect, you choose a hole, measure, maybe that's going to be M12. All I have to do is turn off on sketch and pick it up. So that's going to be 12 mil. So diameter 12.2, because obviously it hasn't been modelled to be tapped, so it's going to be slightly under as we go and go to our that one, measure and inspect. This one, we know that here is going to be a 14, so we know it's going to clear then a 12 by 1.75, just roughly over 2, and the fitment there is correct. To turn my sketch back on, I'm going to work on the top ones. This is going to be now the taps, so chop window. This is going to be a simple hole. And this is going to be the drill size then for an M3. So what we're going to do in here is the distance again through all. And we're then going to work on making sure it's a simple with a straight through. And then we're going to have to, unfortunately, there's no database on the system because it doesn't know what drill size that you use. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to then manually put this in down the bottom. So 2.5 for an M3. Same again, and this time it's going to be 3.3 or 3.5 probably for an M4. This one is our M5, which would be 4.2 or 4.5 if you round it up. This one, which is R6, which is going to be so it'll be 5 mil. And this one, which is our M8, will be a 6.8 because there's 1, 2, 5. This one, which will be our 10, which is going to be 8.5, 8.5. And then the last one, which is our 12, which is going to be 10.2, like so. So there's kind of all my holes and features on. I can turn my sketch off now. So that's kind of my drill and tap gauge. So now it's just going to be working on the features. So obviously got the radius descent and we got the chamfers descent. So I'm going to do the easy bit first. So I'm going to pan around. I'm just going to orientate slightly around so I can get to both sides using the orb function. Chamfer lives under the modify, so you want to click that one and that one. We want equal distance, and we know it's going to be 10 mil. So I'll chamfer those guys down, gives you a nice feature, 10, and then we're going to do the same again. Okay, you're going to cut that round on a fillet. So we do both of them, and we want that 95. Now it's going to come up with like an error, which is why I said this is slightly important later, because everyone will try and work out the T fillet. So what you have to do is half the 95 to do either side. So that's going to be 47 and a half. It's very bizarre why it's just done that. You can use the roll feature. So you put in a specified radius. Okay, this is not going to let you do that. So this is where the feature will come in from earlier, which is why I put the line in. So if we go to our sketches, we turn on sketch number 1 on the top feature. What we can do is we can edit that sketch again. We can come in and what we can do is find the midpoint. So what we're going to do, find the midpoint. I'm just going to chuck a line in. And then I'm going to change that to a construction line. Just going to go back to the basics. I can then put a circle on the midpoint. So another construction line, so I drop this one down, like so, put a circle on. Bring it out, so it's going to be my element. I'm going to go trim, just going to get rid of that side, this side, that side. That's going to be my cut. Change that back to a line, and all I'm going to do is finish that sketch. Go back in, modify that one. I'm going to deselect those two features. Let me turn off my sketch, and then there's the features added on. Just quickly looking at that, it hasn't quite hit that side, so maybe you have to edit that again. Maybe that point was slightly lower. Change that to center line. Normally dimension this, so we'll get half of 75. Bit strange why it's picking that up as a diameter. So okay, we can strain it midpoint. Very odd. Yeah, it keeps what's it picking up as that. So pick up that line, find the midpoint, and then you can obviously move it. Move it off, re-put the line back on. That's better. Again, same process as before, just trim it all down. Like so, finish that bit. It was going to go a bit strange on the feature. Re-plug that side back in. There we have it. There's our overall shape. So if we hopefully inspect that, should say it's radius of 95, which is correct. So just make sure everything's lined up. For some strange reason, that one there has moved. So edit that feature. This is why I do them as holes. So re-put the reference as the point. Okay, so all my holes are lined up. You could then, if you want to, put some text in and go from there. But there we go, close that down. And there's my tap and drill plate, all nicely modelled, which then you can obviously go away and make it as per you see fit.